Today I'll be dealing with axle wrap and why it sucks for your truck. Axle wrap is when the axle rotates and tries to wrap up the leaf springs. You will notice that the leaf spring will almost form an S shape as torque is applied to the wheels. This causes excessive wearing of the U-joints, and in high torque situations, more devastating breakage can occur. Axle wrap is often created after lifting a vehicle due to installing softer springs for flex, or installing lift blocks, like my Ford F-150 axle came with from the factory. So what do we do to solve this problem without reducing flex? In my situation, I chose to install an axle bar. I ordered my anti-wrap axle bar from Rough Stuff Specialties, and it comes with everything you need to get most of the way there, including the bars themselves. Now it just has to be installed. First, I'm going to figure out the location of the top bar by placing of the axle bracket. For maximum effect, it's said that the bar should be placed on the right-hand side of the axle to counter the natural rotational torque. But I will have to put mine on the left since that's the only space that I have. The bracket comes pre-cut from Rough Stuff for your axle tube diameter, but the tapered third member section of this forward 9-inch will require some grinding to get the placement I want. The front of the bar has a simple mini shackle to allow the front and back motion leaf springs have naturally during their usage. There is also a debate whether it's best for the shackle to be upwards or downwards. I just chose what fit in my space the best. Now I will mark the tube in an approximate spot to be shortened to length. Since the bracket isn't welded to the axle yet, the exact length of the tube isn't as important. We can make up any slight differences in the length with a threaded heim and the rotation of the bracket on the axle. Now finish marking the tubes for your cuts, making sure to get the fish mouth sections as close as possible to the tubes they will be welded to. Sometimes it helps to use the tube as a template to trace around. And remember, safety glasses are a must. I did the main rough cut with a chop saw, leaving just the grinding for the fish mouth to be done with the angle grinder. Once you have the tube ground to where you like it, it's time for the welder. Don't get too excited at this point, and make sure to take your time to set up for the tack weld. Since I'm using a small 110 volt welder, I wanted to ensure the best possible weld and grab the propane torch to preheat the joint. This will allow the welder to retain a higher heat in the weld, since it won't have to heat up the surrounding piece as well. After it's all welded, take a moment to inspect your work. I like to see the bluing discoloration of the metal on the inside of the work. This is a good indicator that your weld has penetrated deep into the metal. This isn't a very scientific approach, but I haven't broken a weld yet. While I let that cool, I tackled welding the shackle bracket to the crossmember. I left space at the bottom for further strengthening of the mount should I ever need it. Next, the rear axle bracket was burned in. The easiest way to get it properly aligned is to attach the now cooled bar as it would be installed. With the bracket bolted to the bar, you can be sure the bar will fit back into it after you finish welding. The bottom bar is the easiest to place. You pretty much just cut it to fit and weld it similar to previous methods. Depending on the amount of torque you expect your axle to see, you can also install the included bracing at the axle end, and even truss up the axle bar if you want. But for my little V6, I won't be pushing it anywhere close to that. Now after all that work, did it fix the problem? You be the judge.